Okay, in the last video I was looking at this map here, the boost limiter, and I said the next thing we need to do is to look at the single value boost limit. Now the single value boost limit is fairly easy to find in an edc16. In an edc15 you sometimes need a little number to use as your guide, and then you can put that number into the search section, go and search for that number, and right next door to it you will find usually the limit that you're looking for. Now with edc16s there's often another clue, and you don't have to do any silly searching of numbers. And the thing that you're looking for is actually part of, in some respects, the boost limiting map. It's right down here at the end of the boost limiting map. There's a little section here that we're not using as part of this map, and then there's usually something right down in that far end, the last value, just there, right at the end there. You almost can't see it. If I zoom this, so if I say view and I zoom, let's see if that will. Ooh, I can see it there, but again, maybe if you're not familiar with this you won't. So let's try and see if we can go one more, see if that will help. You might just be able to see it at the moment. That last bit there is flat, and then it's got a tiny little spike right there on the very end. Now I am actually getting a little pop-up telling me the cursor values, but I don't think they show up on the video, so you probably can't see them. But that line there, I'm getting a little pop-up and it's saying to me 2250. But if I go to that spike there, that tiny little spike, it says 2350. So I'm just going to put the view back to normal again, because I don't want to forget to do it and then wonder where I'd got to before. So let's unzoom that back to where I was. Now the simplest thing to do is, having found roughly where I think I am, I'll leave that cursor in the place where I think I need to look, and I'll go to text view. Oh, I've hit the jackpot straight away. If you look at these numbers, we've got a range of different numbers, and this row here is going 2250, 2250, 2250, 2250, 2250. So there's the flat bit of the graph I was just looking at, and right on the end it says 2350. That's the little spike, and that's our single value boost limit. It's as simple as that. It's the last little number on the end there. Now what I always do as my method of selecting here, I could go up to selection, select cell, but if you look it says insert. So what I normally do at this stage is I just leave that there, and something I always do first is I press delete, which means that if there's anything else I've accidentally left selected, that will be unselected. So I get into the habit, I just press delete, then I press insert, which is right next to it, and it becomes highlighted, and then I press K. So I go delete, insert, K, and there we are. I've got hardly what you'd call a map, but you know what I mean. Now you've got that little value there. I'll double click on it and it comes up and says map, and I'll put single value boost limit SVBL, and I will just put on here in words, single value boost limit. I could have put that in that box, and that box wouldn't make any difference. It's measured in millibar, because obviously that's just a personal choice of what I call these things. Now again, if I was doing this for the first time, and I think I did mention this on the EDC15s, I would be tempted to open the comment box and put a comment in here as to how I found it, or what I did, or why it's there, and so on, just to make life easier when I'm looking for things in future and I can't quite remember what I've done. Right, now one final word to mention about this. If I just get rid of that, say OK, so we've got that, there it is over there. Occasionally when you go through these you get to the end and there's nothing there. In other words, this might go 2250, 2250, 2250, 2250, 2250, 2250. There's no little spike on the end. And if that happens, it simply means there is not going to be a single value boost limit. So there isn't one there. So the file will not be using that sudden boost spike to cut boost completely because it hasn't got one. So if you absolutely cannot find one, don't panic, because it may well be there isn't one. Right, I'm just going to press delete again to get rid of that highlight. It's gone yellow as usual. So that's your single value boost limit, and I'll stop there.